right, so shouts out to y'all. You know what I mean? Let's get a little noise in the building so they know that it's real. So this is all an affirmation of some work that I've been doing called Still Growing. A lot of that is about me just affirming that no matter how much I've been doing already, there's still so much more to do. You know what I mean? I be very critical of myself, and I be very optimistic and inspired. You know what I mean? I battle in between them two thought processes as far as just working towards my vision and my purpose. You know, we was at the workshop today, and we was just talking about our purpose, just literally meaning the reason that we exist. Like literally just being intentional about the reason that we exist. And part of the reason that I found that I exist through chapters in my journey, and I'll start with being at like 12, because that was a significant moment, because that's when my parents had broke up, and I never knew that was such a character development arc. You know what I mean? The day you go for hero or villain, one of them moments, right? Like I ain't know it was one of them moments until I reflected on it later, till I was about 22. And then when I was 22, I was recognizing that that impact and that experience had already developed something in me, right? I only had hindsight at that point. I had resentment, fear, anger, and a lot of things that were unprocessed. So at 22, I had, significant encounters with the law, family members, and just lost a lot of what I would call just peace, in my life, and just stability. So since then, I popped up in Philly and just been reclaiming my being, my sense of self-worth, but also developing skills, life languages, and new experiences that have helped me find the purpose that I mentioned in the beginning, right? And as I look in the crowd, my dog Smooth, he was integral to that mission, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to get here. Shouts out to Comfort with the save. Yes, she got the goods. Thank you. You ain't got to bring it. You good. We're going to handle that later. You just excited me. You know what I mean? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff like that, man. It be people I can really depend on. So yeah, Smooth, a.k.a. Berlin, a.k.a. Marty, a.k.a. Sean, you know what I'm saying, a.k.a.
Neil Reb.
You feel me? So it's like he was the one that taught me how to make music and just opened up my mind and being more intentional and constructive with my efforts. And so over the last 8 years I've been here in Philadelphia, utilizing music to find my talents, my voice, and just also more meaning and purpose. So what does this have to do with why we're here today? Well, after I transitioned from one of the more significant accomplishments in my journey of just having a space, I needed to find something to do, quite literally. Like my day-to-day was 5-6 days a week at a space similar to this, trying to rent it out, trying to generate revenue, just doing the things that were required to pay the bills. And I like to regard this as just being very ambitious, but losing clear sight of my aspirations any longer, right? Like who was I becoming, what really mattered type vibes. And that's when I just released the space, and I knew that there was a greater version and a greater purpose for myself, but I didn't know quite what it was yet. So that's when I actually ran into being here. Garley, shouts out to Garley, you know what I'm saying? I met her about going on 2 years ago, and we were just on a date, and she was like, oh, I know this fly spot. Let's just go here. Because I wanted to go to a thrift store, but I wanted to go to a black-owned thrift store. I wanted to be intentional about it. Everything got to be intentional, right? So she brought me here, and I grabbed a couple things, but the first thing that I was just inspired to do was I hollered at John, and I'm like, look, I already see what's going on in here. I see you running a business. I was just doing something like that, and I just want to be intentional about being in a space like this again, but being the thing that I needed when I had that space, like someone who's gonna really help carry some real weight and not look for a paycheck, right? And try to get their whole vibe off on what I've built. Now I just really wanted to just be an angel. So just something that was sent for just the great things that people like myself had done. So when the moment I was in here, I was like, look, man, just let me know how I can pull up and add value. And surely enough, he was able to find space for me. And after volunteering, a year later, I was able to, build this relationship. So, you good?
Yeah.
little intermission, and then they can snap their fingers, and then you can start taking your breather, and then you can get into what the questions you want to ask.